Wilmot Union High School Board. And our first candidate we'll be hearing from is Joy Corona.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank the Twin Lakes for inviting the candidates for the Wilmot Union High School Board to participate in this event. This format is actually really effective to hear from each other and meet each other face to face. I am a long lifer Wisconsinite, grew up in Racine, attended Marquette, and have been living in Silver Lake for the last 20 years. We found our lot, loved it, and bought it within 3 days because we knew this is the area we wanted to raise our family. I have 3 Panther children. I have a graduate, a junior that's currently attending Wilmot, and a 7th grader who will be an aspiring Wilmot Panther. I'm an active community member, volunteering at hundreds and hundreds of community hours, both to academic and athletic activities. I've been on the Junior Panthers, which was previously the Bulldogs, football and cheer board since 2014. I also work full-time as a civil engineer, and I have been with my consulting firm for the last 20 years. Some of you may be aware of some discussions that have been occurring on social media. I am sad that things related to this campaign have gotten personal, and I honestly have no idea why. What is clear is that all candidates and all persons are passionate and want what is best for Wilmot, but don't necessarily agree on what it looks like or how to implement it. Becoming involved in voicing concerns is not personal. Bringing attention to concerns and holding alternative views is not bullying. It's actually healthy and a key foundation of our democracy. I am open to discuss any issue and have done so with everyone who has reached out to me personally. I am not, however, willing to engage on debates on social media, whether provoked or even whether comments are untrue. If elected, I will advocate to make sure all views are brought forth, even those I may not agree with. Discussing various sides of an issue often leads to a compromise solution that satisfies the majority and an understanding between people, even if they are not all in agreement. I can give you a professional example. I've been involved with the Lake County Stormwater Management Ordinance through a number of various revisions. That ordinance has to serve the development community and the public sector. So when you're writing ordinance language, it can't be biased one way or another. You have to hear everyone's opinions and come to a solution on the language to ensure that it's fair and can be palatable to both sides. It's essential to understand that any concern I've raised fundamentally have been with the process and conduct of the current board. Policies are in place to ensure that the public can trust the process. Some of the decisions that the board has come to on various topics may very well be the best choice. However, these decisions must be made in the public eye and follow established processes and policies and laws. As shared in some recent news publications, there are several immediate changes that I think can occur to rebuild trust, such as ensuring that the administration is given breathing room necessary to fulfill their duties. The administration needs the ability to implement the board's policies using their particular education and professional expertise. Engaging in discussion during public meetings. Ensuring true transparency by posting committee meeting minutes, providing supporting documentation on all agendas, and sharing these documents visually at meetings, limiting board discussions outside of meetings, and reducing the amount of closed sessions. I would also change the way that the board interacts with the community by eliminating the appointed official spokesperson of the board. There are 7 elected board members. Each board member should have their own opinion. Effective governance does not require each board member to agree, but instead thrives on diversity and discussion. I am in no way running for the board to derail actions that benefit the students. I will, however, speak up when I want more information. Discuss the matter before voting. I may not vote the same as other members, and I may disagree with moving a portion of the meeting to closed session. That is not being an obstructionist, but instead performing my civic duty. And it mirrors voices that have already been stated tonight, that you need to listen and ask questions. I strongly believe that this will help our students and staff flourish. I'm an engineer. I pride myself on being level-headed and logical. It's just how my brain is wired. But I can't apparently manage 5-minute time. I look forward to your vote and welcome any questions. Thanks.
All right, next candidate is Laurie Moon.
Darren, do you want to say that I'm the incumbent?
Oh yes, in the program here, it noted that Laurie Moon should be marked as the incumbent amongst the 3 people.
So can I see a show of hands of how many people here graduated from Wilmot? Great, fantastic. We're so lucky to live in a community that has such strong, deep roots. It's a strength, but it can also be a weakness. A constituent told the board that she doesn't want us to change the school. I get it. People have fond memories. They have pride in the past, but change will come, and we can't stop it. Our students are facing a much different job market than we did. We must stay current for their sake. Wilmot was without a plan for over 10 years. Our school was one category away from failing. If a school fails, the state has the option to close it or take over operations. Obviously, this is a bad situation to be in. I ran determined to help create a plan. We created that strategic plan this year with me as president. Our plan has embedded oversight. This school will now be accountable for taking action to improve. My opponents have stated that they want to support the leadership and let them do their jobs. The current board has been told by members of leadership team at Wilmot that they do not follow policy to run our school. They admitted they are unaware of many policies that keep children safe. Is this the leadership behavior we want to support? How do you feel that the injury and concussion policy has not been followed? Parents have contacted the board to tell us that their students were sent home with concussions and not informed, but they found out in the middle of the night when they had to take their child to the emergency room. Fixing this problem is not micromanagement, it is oversight. Can I see a show of hands of how many people here get 47 paid vacation days a year? None? It's almost 10 weeks. Our leadership team got 47 paid days off per year, each. If they didn't take those days off, they got a cash payout. The total of this payout was over $100,000 per year for 8 employees. The current board has changed these contracts to come into better alignment with other schools and the current job market. Next year, by simply changing these benefits and not replacing 2 unnecessary leadership positions that are leaving, we will save you, the taxpayers, $365,000. Wilmot is in the top 3% of salaries. We are not in the top of performing high schools. I understand that change can be difficult and may make some people uncomfortable. But now, show of hands. How many of you would go to the newspaper if you had an issue with your boss? Some members of our staff went to the local paper to complain about the board. As president, one of my first acts was to change a policy, rewrite it, to ensure that staff could communicate with the board without fear of retaliation. It is clear that their goal was not to solve a problem, but rather force the board to resign. One of their grievances was that we respond to parents when they contact us. Yes, we do. We will not ignore our constituents, our bosses. We will not apologize for listening. We direct complaints back to the people who can help, and sometimes it is the board. One of my opponents claims she will, quote, help restore trust in the board and that my voice can help bring back stability. This is the same voice that overthrew our annual meeting. This is the voice who submitted an unlawful petition for seat apportionment. This is the voice who did not follow the agenda of the meeting and refused to allow our strategic plan to be heard by the constituents. This is the voice who started the fight. Why should we believe she is the peacemaker? Should we believe in blind trust? This is not why taxpayers elect a school board. School board is not here to rubber stamp the administration, but rather to support initiatives and hold them accountable for their actions. I am on a crusade to support the hardworking and talented teachers and staff who are there for students. Resources need to be focused on students. Leadership needs to support staff. Accountability has finally occurred under my watch. And if you elect me for 3 more years, it will continue. Thank you.
All right, our final candidate for Wilmot Union High School Board is Kim Swanson.
Hello, my name is Kim Swanson and I am running for Wilmot High School Board election. I would like to thank the Twin Lakes Chamber and Twin Lakes Country Club for putting on tonight's forum. For those of you who don't know me, I am a lifelong resident of Twin Lakes and I attended both Randall Grade School and Wilmot High School. I raised my 3 children here and my oldest son has also settled in the Randall School District with his new wife. I'm very involved in my community, volunteering for several organizations. My children were involved in high school in football and cheerleading, and each one of them had great connections with their coaches and their teachers. Some of those connections continue today, even though they are adults and have graduated. I decided to run for school board for a few reasons, one of them being the vote of no confidence by the staff last fall. Their statement listed several issues which included a lack of transparency by the board, frustration with the many changes in administration, and an overall lack of trust. These concerns are also echoed by the 115 people that participated in the superintendent search feedback report, and this is a common theme against all 6 focus groups. Now, in regards to that feedback report, there was also some positives that came out. Everybody in all the focus groups felt that Wilmot was a great school. The student group specifically called out teachers that said that they care above and beyond their job duties and that they don't want to be coddled, which I thought was very interesting. I do know the board talks about accountability, but in my opinion, I don't think that they have failed to apply that equally to themselves with the same litmus test that they hold to other people. As any good leader knows, in order to solve a problem, you have to acknowledge that there is a problem. My concern is that the issues listed in the no confidence statement were downplayed, which resulted in a missed opportunity to repair the relationship. The students spend the most time with the teachers and staff at Wilmot, and their learning environment is being affected. I will propose that the listening session be brought back again in order to allow all voices to be heard and that the students' needs are at the forefront of any solution. I'm saddened to hear that another change in administration has been decided with the resignation of the district leader, Mrs. Torres, and Director of Special Education, Mr. Watson. My priority will be to support the new superintendent who will be tasked with getting the staff to work as a cohesive unit so growth can occur. The most successful districts have a harmonious relationship between the board and the administration, and unfortunately, that does not exist at Wilmot right now. I want to see that harmonious relationship duplicated at Wilmot, and I believe we can get there. Having earnest conversations without fear of retaliation is one of the teachers' main concerns. Everyone will need to have a weigh-in on finding solutions, and that will be a great first step in moving forward. In regards to the lack of transparency that was brought up by the vote of no confidence and also echoed in the stakeholder report, I will have to say that before I decided to run for the school board, I wanted to go back and see what the board focus was and catch up on committee meetings, what the discussion was, things that were hot topics. I will admit, if you compare Wilmot's agendas, meeting minutes, etc., to other local schools in our district, whether it's a feeder school or another high school, there's a definite lack of detail on the agendas, and that's how the public knows what is going to be discussed. I also noticed that discussions during the open meeting were really minimal, and some board members didn't talk at all. That was concerning. Having 6 years of school board experience, I would like to promote the use of detailed board meeting agendas. I would also encourage the use of committee meetings and keep closed sessions for their intended exceptions only. The community has voiced concerns on recent decisions not being fully vetted with the public, in front of the public, one of which is the new policy that each student should have 10 hours per year of service learning, which is volunteering, in order to graduate. And that starts this fall. I don't disagree that volunteering is an important part of our community, but the presentation of data behind this and having the policy committee vet this as a presentation to the board and many other decisions, all of this policy, all of this procedure within the committee meeting presenting data is missing from the board meetings. This is leaving the community to ask a lot of questions. Utilizing committee structure, along with having specific agenda topics and the board discussing an open meeting, will eliminate the confusion that has surrounded recent board decisions, and it allows the public to view the decision-making process. I love Wilmot. I'm a proud alumni and former parent. I appreciate your vote and support on April 5th. Thank you.